Hello, hello, hello! Live from the virtual Twitch studio, I'm your host, Pixel Phil, and this is this week's One Good Thing in Games. January is traditionally a slow news period. No big release windows, no showcase season, no major announcements, but sometimes those quieter moments allow smaller stories to shine through. And this week, I came across two of them. They're not about new games as such, they're about what happens after success, and how some indie developers that have tasted the very peak of success are choosing to give back in ways that don't involve ownership, control, or trend chasing. While doing research last week, I learned about Outer Sloth. Outer Sloth is a funding initiative created by the developers Inner Sloth, who are behind Among Us, a game that famously succeeded without a traditional publisher, retained its IP, and went on to become one of the biggest indie success stories of the last decade. Rather than moving on quietly, the team have set up Outer Sloth to help other indie developers get their game off the ground. Here's what makes Outer Sloth notable. Outer Sloth is not a publisher, they don't take IP ownership, they don't force development timelines, they don't chase Web3, blockchain or trend-driven pitches, in fact they don't even accept them. Developers pitch original game ideas, if accepted they receive funding through a very fair revenue share model, and optional access to advice from a team that have already navigated indie success on their own terms. Importantly, the developers retain full ownership of their work. In an industry where funding often comes with creative compromise or long-term obligations, Outer Sloth represents something genuinely rare: support without leverage. It's a model built by people who benefited from independence and chose not to replicate the structures that typically extract value from it. Outer Sloth have funded quite a few release games in the past couple of years, including One Button Stories, Battlesuit Aces, Click Holding, The Horror at Highrook, and so many more. Another story caught my attention this week. Concerned Ape, as many of you would know, is the creator of Stardew Valley. Donated $125,000 to the open source C framework Monograph game. He's also committed to ongoing support. Monogame isn't something most players ever think about, but it's critical infrastructure for indie development. It underpins countless games and tools, and like many open source projects, it's largely maintained by a small group of developers with limited resources. Concerned Ape used Monogame to help develop Stardew Valley, and is now using the wealth that hard work brought to help improve the tools he used for other developers. Some games that have used Monogame include Streets of Rage 4, Chasm, Bastion, Axiom Verge, Celeste, and many more. Concerned Ape didn't need to do this, there was no obligation, but Stardew Valley didn't exist in a vacuum. It was built using tools created and maintained by others, and its generous donation helps ensure those tools remain viable for future developers. This is for those that came after. Neither Inner Sloth nor Concerned Ape needed to help other devs. They could have enjoyed the well-earned money and success, but they are helping indie developers make more games with unique visions. Neither demanded ownership. Neither positioned themselves as gatekeepers. They could have done nothing. Instead, they chose to lower the ladder behind them. In an industry that often rewards extraction and consolidation, it's genuinely heartwarming to see examples of success being used to support. And this warms my heart. Well, that's it for this week's One Good Thing in Games. If you're enjoying this content, please like and subscribe, it really does help. Until next time, Pixel Phil, signing off.